This is Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Hope you are joining us with a warm cup of coffee as well. I'm Jacqueline Matter.
Yes, I am.
Mine's cold.
Yeah, mine's gotten that way too. 6 o'clock, let's get to the forecast now. Here he is, folks, the great Scalzini, meteorologist John Scalzini.
I'll tell you what, how abracadabra, we're going to get warmer. How's that?
Perfect.
Yeah, no encore for that presentation, right? We got some warm temperatures coming our way by the end of the week. We'll have air temperatures that'll probably be pretty close to the 90-degree mark. Humidity will be high. The beaches will be packed, I'm sure. This will probably be one of the busiest beach days we have had in quite some time as we head into the end of the work week. Today, though, we got a little bit of cloud cover out there this morning. Cloud cover kind of holding up our morning temperatures just a bit. They're in the low 70s in most locations, except inland away from the cloud cover. We have temperatures that are in the, well, we even have some 50s on the board, but mostly in the 60s. We don't have any rainfall under the cloud cover that you may see as you head out your door this morning, and that will be the case for the next several days. It'll be a rain-free sky. Today, we'll top it out a little bit warmer. We'll top it out a little bit more humid, but the weather pattern is changing, and we'll talk about that coming up in just a few. Back to you guys.
All right, talk to you soon. Thank you, John. Let's check the roads right now. First off, looks like 301 is busy, heading towards Sarasota out of Bradenton. A slowdown there as you approach State Road 70. Farther south on the maps, we'll check how Sarasota County looks. Well, Fruitville's okay, and Bee Ridge is clear. Clark, look at that. Clark is busy right now, heading toward the interstate in the eastbound lane around the Honore and Beneva area. And then farther south on the maps, we're looking at really nothing to speak of at 6:02 on this Wednesday morning.
Topping our news this hour, President Trump having some tough talk this week for a key foreign power, but not one you might expect.
As reporter Reed Binion tells us, the president is taking aim at a trade imbalance with Canada.
Businesses and consumers facing a dairy crisis in Wisconsin.
It's tricky because it needs space, it needs a cooler, and it's very, very perishable.
Some dairy farmers may have to pour out unsold milk. This following an expanded Canadian tariff on ultra-filtered milk imports from the U.S., which lowered prices for milk produced in Canada. Wisconsin's dairy crisis is part of a larger issue amid trade tensions between Canada and the United States. President Trump hitting Canada over dairy on Twitter and sounding off on the issue Tuesday.
People don't realize Canada's been very rough on the United States. Everyone thinks of Canada as being wonderful, and so do I. I love Canada. But they've outsmarted our politicians for many years.
When Canadian officials wouldn't bend on dairy tariffs, the president responded by slapping tariffs of up to 24% on Canadian lumber. The administration charging that Canada's government subsidizes Canadian lumber companies. Canada's Foreign Minister Chrystia Freeland denying the claim and echoing concerns that the tax will lead to higher home prices in the U.S.
This is going to cost middle-class Americans who want to buy a house a lot of money.
Freeland making it clear that Canada has no intention of backing down when it comes to trade disputes with the U.S.
Politeness is something that we believe is a national virtue. But it's not an accident that hockey is our national sport.
I'm Reed Binion reporting.
Meantime, the World Trade Organization has ruled in Mexico's favor, hitting the U.S. with sanctions in a dispute over tuna.
Meanwhile, the U.S. and North Korea are flexing their military muscles again as the nuclear crisis with the city of Pyongyang escalates. The state's leader, Kim Jong-un, supervised a massive demonstration of artillery power to celebrate Army Day. This as the U.S. says there's evidence of digging at a tunnel entrance at North Korea's nuclear site, which suggests a nuclear test is not possible.
As the clock ticks down toward Friday's deadline to pass a funding bill and avoid a government shutdown, the White House is sending mixed messages on one of the biggest hurdles in passing that bill. A congressional source says Republicans have privately proposed a funding bill that does not include the president's border wall. The president is not backing down on that plan, but the White House says getting funding might have to wait until at least October. White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer says the administration will continue to seek funding through the next fiscal year to make sure that wall can be completed. All right, 6:04 right now. New developments in the case of a 15-year-old girl who was kidnapped by her teacher in Tennessee. Get this, documents released in court claim Elizabeth Thomas was abused by her mother for months. So now Kimberly Thomas is set to appear in court next month to face 5 charges of abuse and neglect of her daughter. She is pleading not guilty. The girl's father is now filing for divorce. Elizabeth's teacher, Tad Cummins, is facing a federal charge of bringing a minor across the state line. Cummins was found with the girl in California last week after they disappeared in Tennessee last month. You're about to see a little girl wander into traffic, but she was not injured. But watch this. It happened in China. Little girl, look at that, right in front of the SUV. Somehow the SUV is high enough to avoid her. A second car goes over the girl as well. The grandmother comes out and rescues her. Luckily, the girl only suffered some minor bruises on the top of her head. She is not seriously injured. The grandmother says she took her eye off the girl, and that is when that happened.
Oh my gosh, scary situation there. A Florida high school student recovering after being attacked and nearly kidnapped while walking to her bus stop early Tuesday morning. Police say a man who the 16-year-old described as in his 20s drove past her twice. The second time, he parked, got out, and hit the girl, then tried to drag her from the ground toward his car. But a bystander saw the girl loudly resisting with kicks and screams and intervened to stop that attack.
A nearby resident who happened to be backing out of the parking spot early in the morning heard it, drove over and said, "What's going on here?" That was enough to frighten away the attacker and to probably save her from any sort of harm.
The girl did receive bruises and is a bit shaken up, but she is okay. Police are working on a composite sketch to find that suspect. Anyone with information about the attack is asked to contact police. A recall alert this morning as Tampa-based Uncle John's Pride is recalling their ready-to-eat smoked meat and poultry sausage after discovering a metal magnet in the beef trim of their processed sausage product. Consumers who have purchased these products are urged to throw them away or return to the place of purchase. Alabama, Florida, and Georgia are the states these products were shipped to for sale. A follow-up now on the future plans for the site of the worst mass shooting in recent U.S. history. The owner of Pulse nightclub in Orlando wants to build a memorial on the club's property. Barbara Poma says she will announce details for that memorial next week. In the months after the massacre, the city of Orlando proposed buying the club for around $2 million so it could be turned into a memorial. But Poma turned down that offer. 49 people were killed, dozens more injured during that shooting last June.
You might soon be able to buy liquor in the grocery store in Florida. The House is set to vote today on that plan in Tallahassee. Current law requires liquor to be sold in a separate store, which supporters of the bill say actually does more harm than good.
In states that have what is currently in place in the state of Florida, there are higher numbers of incidents of DUIs, of liquor violations, and alcohol-related arrests.
But those against the bill say the change will hurt small liquor stores and also make it easier for minors to get access to alcohol in grocery stores. The legislation has already passed the Senate, and now it is in the House. NASCAR's most popular driver is going to hang up his helmet. Dale Earnhardt Jr. announced he is going to retire at the end of this season. He's the two-time Daytona champ. He began his career with the NASCAR Busch Series back in 1996. He joined the Winston Cup Series in 2000. Since then, he has started in 603 races and won 26 times. He has won most popular driver 14 consecutive years. Earnhardt says all he ever wanted to do was race.
I've accomplished way more than I ever dreamed. Way more than I ever thought I'd accomplish. So I'm good. You know, I'm good on that front. I'm so blessed.
He says he'll still stay involved with the sport for years to come. Good career to finish as a young man and say you're blessed.
Isn't that true?
Yeah, all of our goals.
And fun fact, he just got married, I think it was last year, to a young lady. So he's fresh getting married and leaving his career, I guess.
Fun fact, she said.
Good. Yeah, that's great.
Right.
Say fun fact.
Yeah.
That is fun.
Did you know that?
No, that qualifies as a fun fact.
Okay.
I wonder who the next superstar of NASCAR will end up being.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see. We have some changing weather coming our way over the next several days. We're going to see more heat, more humidity, more summer-like feel to the air. Too soon. Too soon, right?
It's here. Yeah.
It's not even May yet.
I know. It's coming, though. We'll talk about it in a sec.
All right, well, still to come, a father's internet post on a Little League Baseball is serving as a national reminder for sportsmanship. We'll have that story coming out.
Enjoy some of the best Suncoast restaurants on me. Just go to mysuncoast.com/dining, sign up for the newsletter if you haven't already, and you can win a $50 gift card to a restaurant in our area. We'll pick a winner each week, so go on our website and sign up now.
If you've ever had a bad night's sleep, call and price the new Craftmatic Legacy. It has so much more than other adjustables and still costs up to 50% less, featuring a rising adjustable pillow rest to support your head, neck, and shoulders, bedside power plugs, under-bed night lights, and more. So call and price one today for less, up to 50% less than Tempur-Pedic, Sleep Number, and other adjustables.
You get so much more and it still costs less. You gotta see how little they cost.
Call 1-800-774-8103. That's 1-800-774-8103. Call now.
But is it? It's really just the beginning, right? Have you written a book and want it published but don't know where to start? You're not alone. Page Publishing cuts through the confusion that most new authors face, like copyright protection, barcodes, printing, and digital uploading. We will get your book into bookstores now. We guide you through the publishing maze and help you distribute and sell your work in hard copy and ebook formats. That's right, we will digitize and place your book for sale on Amazon, Apple iBooks, and Google, offering it to millions. Don't waste another minute. Most publishers won't even look at new author submissions, but we're different. We review your book and provide you feedback in about a week. If we decide to publish your book, your work ends and ours begins. From copy editing and proofing to typesetting and book cover art, our team gets you into bookstores fast.
Call for your free author submission kit at 800-425-5308.
Everyone loves a bright and cheerful smile. Not everyone can find the dental care they need and can afford. Now there's a place nearby where anyone can receive professional quality dental care at an affordable cost. The Lecom School of Dental Medicine in Lakewood Ranch is now accepting patients. You will receive your care in comfortable, state-of-the-art treatment rooms. To schedule your appointment, please call the Lecom Dental Group practices, 941-405-1600. We will be happy to see you smiling again.
There are many choices when it comes to AC companies. Our advice? Choose a company that performs employee background checks and is licensed with top manufacturers like Daikin. Daikin offers a 12-year parts and labor limited warranty. For better comfort and value, call Elite Heating and Air.
Now, the official Suncoast weather with ABC7 meteorologist John Scalzi.
So across the region this morning, temperatures have kept high because of cloud cover that's around. So we haven't seen the temperatures dip into the 60s, or low 60s rather, which they might have done had we not had that cloud cover, because our dew points are still in the 50s. In fact, 52, low 50s. So we could have conceivably even been in the upper 50s for a morning low. The cloud cover will give way to sunshine, though, so it won't be a kind of dreary day by any stretch of the imagination. We'll have plenty of sunshine as we head into the afternoon. That'll help boost our temperatures up to probably a little bit warmer than they were yesterday. 60 degrees, Wauchula, Arcadia, Mayaca. Parrish coming in at 61, 62 in Bradenton. We have 68 degrees in Sarasota, 68 in Venice, 68 in Inglewood, 64 in Northport, and 71 degrees in Longboat Key. These temperatures will start to even out as we go into the mid-morning and we get a little more sunshine around here. Again, just a reminder, the fire danger indexes are again high today. Projected indexes are either very high or high across the area, and burn bans are still in effect. We're looking at some pretty quiet conditions on radar across the entire state today. That's because the cloud cover that we do have around is not rain-producing cloud cover, and it's a very thin layer that'll mix away pretty quickly as well. We do have some showers to the north of us, though, in down East Maine. So if you're traveling today, Bar Harbor to even Boston area, I think you'll see some rain showers in progress there throughout the afternoon. So we have cloud cover in a thin little line across our region, but as I mentioned, it won't last long. These are low-hanging clouds, and they will mix away pretty quickly with a little daytime heating. Back to the west, we have some big, huge, towering, angry clouds that are going to build today into some very strong storms right in this region right here. That'll be a bullseye for severe weather today in the Arklatex. In fact, the threat of severe weather extends all the way from Chicago to New Orleans today. It could be some rough going if you're planning on traveling to the center part of the country. Otherwise, it doesn't touch the state of Florida, so there's no issues for us with that system. That low that is responsible for that severe weather will lift off to the north and to the east. As far as our weather goes, it will be driven completely by the effect of this high-pressure ridge, and as it continues to drift into the Atlantic, we develop a more southerly flow of air. That is what will bring our temperatures up and what will bring our dew points up as well, our humidity. So it's going to feel a little stickier today than it did yesterday. But by the time we get to, I'd say Thursday, you'll really notice that we have cranked up the humidity. A bit warmer today. Humidity will rise. Temperatures will climb, especially as we head into tomorrow. Friday will get very close to the 90-degree mark. Rainfall futurecast keeps us dry, though. The little bit of cloud cover around really not producing much in the way of any kind of rainfall for us. We stay very dry right straight through the period. Boating, nice today. Southerly wind will develop, maybe a little southwest, a little southeast. The winds will shift around a southerly compass heading, and we'll have a 10-knot wind throughout the period. We'll look for 2-foot seas, light chop on bay and inland waters. Nice boating day. A couple of tides to talk about as well as 7:23 low tide, high tide at 12:39. And the official Suncoast forecast is going to call for those slowly climbing temperatures, slowly rising humidities. Dew points today climb from the 50s into the 60s, tomorrow into the 70s, and then I think they'll hold there right through the week as temperatures climb to near 90 by Friday, Saturday, even on Sunday. I'm sure we'll see some 90s around. And then we'll work in a slight chance of some afternoon showers beginning next work week. Back to you.
All right, thank you so much, John. Taking a look at the roadways this morning, you can expect a pretty easy commute. Only congestion in Manatee County really coming on 301 as you head into Sarasota. In that county, take a look at the maps there. You can see a little bit of congestion in both directions on Bee Ridge Road. Also Clark Road as you head towards I-75. 41 also seeing some congestion throughout the Sarasota County area. As we head into South County, pretty quiet throughout that area. A lot of congestion actually towards Business 41 in that roundabout section towards Venice. But there are no accidents here on the Suncoast, and I-75 looking clear as you head out the door on your morning commute this Wednesday. And we all know them, those over-competitive parents that are way too into their child's sports games.
Yeah, kind of a turnoff.
Yeah.
It's a common theme, though, which is why a Wisconsin father's recent post on the internet is causing lots of attention. Corrine Zell has the story.
This subtle reminder at the Glendale Little League field has people talking. It says, please remember, these are kids. This is a game. Coaches are volunteers. Umpires are human. Your child is not being scouted by the Brewers today.
I liked the message, but I also thought it was a nice tongue-in-cheek way of, getting the message out there. It's not mean, it's kind of funny.
When Evan Primko, a dad new to the league, posted a picture of the sign on a public discussion board, he had no idea it would generate so much attention.
No, not at all.
The stands are empty while Dominican High School practices. But come Saturday, when these guys have their first game, the stands will be packed with enthusiastic moms and dads.
We've had some parents who've been a little bit, say, intense.
The Glendale Little League president says they put up the sign a few years ago as a reminder for those in the stands.
Let's just, take it less seriously. We're here for the kids.
The sign makes a statement, but some still choose to ignore it.
Nobody's really complained about the sign, but, I still see some competitiveness in parents.
This baseball dad can only guess the reason his post is making the rounds online is because people can relate.
No one likes to go to a game with kids and see parents fighting in the stands.
Well, that post has received hundreds of comments and thousands of upvotes on the internet. That really is a turnoff when you see parents getting way too involved and putting pressure on their kids and all that. And I've seen parents fight among themselves as well.
I know, and how many times you want your kid to have the best experience possible, and that just makes it a worse experience, if anything, I feel like.
They'll be turned off by playing sports that
Exactly,
way. Right.
exactly.
6:20 right now, still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast, a former star of The Bachelor accused of leaving the scene of a fatal crash.
What investigators uncovered at the scene and what charges he's now facing. Coming up.
Who else has been taking your prescriptions? Keep your medicine and your family safe and secure. Mind your meds. To learn how we can help, visit the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids at drugfree.org.
Today at 4 on Suncoast View. I'm Stephanie Roberts on Suncoast View. The big red kinky boots will be in our studio from the Van Wezel, plus Suncoast for sale with boats and National Pretzel Day. Today at 4 on Suncoast View.
I knew I could get myself out of this. I just needed some hope and some help.
I took the first step to recovery when I made the call.
Since 2014, Addiction Hope and Helpline has answered calls for recovery and treatment 24/7, 365 days a year. If you're depressed, drinking, using drugs, or taking pills, call now and talk to someone who cares.
I had problems just getting to sleep, drinking and using pills every night.
I feel like I'm losing control. I'm afraid I'll lose my job or even my family.
Most insurance covers substance abuse. You can get back on track. Call now for hope and help with proven gentle recovery programs.
I never thought that I could be somebody who didn't drink and use drugs.
I have something to hold on to for strength. I'm in recovery, getting the help I need.
Call 800-622-1941. 800-622-1941.
Since 1972, Sleep King has provided quality mattresses and accessories at the best discounted prices available. Top brands like Simmons, Sealy, Serta, Beautyrest, iComfort, and more. With available free delivery, free financing, and free setup and removal. For a comfortable night's sleep with same-day delivery, even if we have to carry it on our backs. Trust Sleep King of Sarasota. Buy it today, sleep on it tonight.
Are you Goodwill?
Yes, because when I donate
or shop at Goodwill,
I am creating a job.
I am Goodwill, yeah.
When you want to get away from it all, to a place where you can do everything, or nothing at all, surrounded by natural beauty and all the modern amenities you might desire, then you'll want to be here at the Wanna Be Inn on the beautiful shores of Manasota Key, Florida. To plan your escape, log on to wannabeinn.com.
Suitable for framing, a postcard.
Wow, that is beautiful this morning.
That's a live picture, folks. Beautiful sky as dawn is about to break here on the Suncoast of Florida.
It almost looks like a bluish purple in the sky out there this morning.
Yeah.
Doesn't it? Maybe it's the reflection of the lights, perhaps.
No, very nice. Nice time to catch that. All right, welcome back. 6:24 on this Wednesday morning.
A former star of The Bachelor under arrest, accused of leaving the scene of a fatal crash.
And police say alcohol was involved. Mara Chavacampo has details.
In this morning's GMA First Look, he's the Iowa farm boy who captured America's attention in season 19 of The Bachelor.
I'm Chris Soules. I'm 33 years old.
But this morning, Chris Soules is facing a very different reality. Arrested early Tuesday and charged with leaving the scene of a fatal accident.
The driver of the tractor is unconscious in the ditch.
According to officials, the 35-year-old rear-ended a tractor with his pickup truck on a rural Iowa road Monday evening, killing the tractor driver, 66-year-old Kenneth Mosier, who was also one of Soules' neighbors in this close-knit rural community. Documents revealing alcohol was found at the scene of the accident, though Soules has not been charged with driving under the influence. Coming up at 7 a.m., Dan Abrams weighs in on the case. With your GMA First Look, I'm Mara Schiavocampo, ABC News, New York.
I have asthma, one of many pieces in my life. So when my asthma symptoms kept coming back on my long-term control medicine, I talked to my doctor and found a missing piece in my asthma treatment with Brio.
Once daily Brio prevents asthma symptoms. Brio's for adults with asthma not well controlled on a long-term asthma control medicine, like an inhaled corticosteroid. Brio won't replace a rescue inhaler for sudden breathing problems. Brio is specifically designed to open up airways to improve breathing for a full 24 hours. Brio contains a type of medicine that increases the risk of death from asthma problems and may increase the risk of hospitalization in children and adolescents. Brio is not for people whose asthma is well controlled on a long-term asthma control medicine, like an inhaled corticosteroid. Once your asthma is well controlled, your doctor will decide if you can stop Brio and prescribe a different asthma control medicine, like an inhaled corticosteroid. Do not take Brio more than prescribed. See your doctor if your asthma does not improve or gets worse.
Ask your doctor if 24-hour Brio could be a missing piece for you. Learn more about better breathing at mybrio.com.
When it comes to drinking, what do you think moderation is? The U.S. Dietary Guidelines define moderation as up to 1 drink a day for women and up to 2 drinks a day for men. So what's a drink? The guidelines say a drink equals 12 ounces of beer, 5 ounces of wine, or a cocktail with 1.5 ounces of distilled spirits. Each contains the same amount of alcohol. Like to learn more? Visit drinkinmoderation.org.
I witnessed him have 2 heart attacks in ICU. He went through seizures.
We'd much rather have Aaron like this than dead. A lot of parents don't have that luxury.
He can't talk. He can't walk. This is a condition Aaron will live with for the rest of his life because he abused prescription pills.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
A decade of war has taken an unprecedented toll on our men and women in uniform.
Hundreds of thousands of our veterans are suffering from the trauma of war.
At Justice for Vets, we believe that every veteran should have the opportunity for treatment and restoration.
Get involved and go to justiceforvets.org.
Help put treatment within reach of veterans in crisis.
Veterans fought for our freedom. Now it's our turn to fight for theirs.
Here we go. We're gonna go out there in the rain. You're gonna get wet. All right, here we go. Okay, oh yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah.
We've all heard how military veterans adjusting to the civilian world may have certain issues.
30. 70.
If only everyone had this issue. No matter what challenge they face, Easter Seals is here for America's veterans.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC 7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining.
Hi, I'm Chef Judy. Every Wednesday morning, I'll be with the chefs at the Publix Aprons Cooking School, serving up the most wonderful dishes. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday on ABC 7's Good Morning Suncoast.
Hi, I'm Chef Allen of Publix Aprons Cooking School. This is Chef Bob. Bob, what do we got on the menu today?
We're going to do bayou, shrimp, and rice. Basically,
Nice.
we're making a gumbo, everybody. Now, this is a real easy one because you guys can all see at home, not a lot of ingredients. The thing I did first was I took chicken sausage. Okay, you can use healthier, unhealthier sausages, but I like chicken sausage here. The other sausage is good too. Brown that off, all right? Nice and crumbled up there. What we're gonna add to this is that frozen gumbo mix.
Yeah, very nice mix
Frozen gumbo mix we add to this. Now, what you want to do with this needs to cook for a while.
Okay.
Gumbo needs to cook for a while. We're kind of doing it in fast time here, but you let those vegetables saute for a little bit. Now we're going to use some Italian diced tomatoes, the Italian seasoning tomatoes. Going to put a little bit of that in there. Let that cook with the vegetables, right?
Yep.
For about maybe 20 minutes.
Okay.
Then we're going to add water to this because we're going to add this gumbo rice packet to this. This has all the red beans and all that cool stuff in here.
Very
and
nice.
What you want to do is shrimp is going to go in this later on. But the shrimp we want to put in at the end, and we'll tell you about that in a second, but you put a lid on this, let this cook, and Chef Mark Positano, one of our chefs at home, here at Publix Aprons Cooking School, loves to say, gumbo ain't good till it's going bad, man. So you need to let this cook and let it sit. It's so good. When it's almost done, you take your shrimp. This is Cajun marinated shrimp that we have in our seafood department. Put that in at the very end.
So that shrimp is already marinated.
It's already marinated.
Fantastic.
It's beautiful. It comes frozen, thawed out. Just let that simmer, man. And you have this with a little bread. It rocks, man. It's good stuff.
All right, starting tomorrow, be sure to stop by our Aprons Simple Meals kiosk and pick up the recipe card, and all the ingredients go with this delicious meal. Thank you very much. Thank you, Bob.
Hey, you're welcome, Mr. Bush.
Coming up on Good Morning Suncoast, reports of cancer stemming from a Suncoast high school. What victims are asking now of their county commissioners.
Reports of inappropriate contact at a middle school in northern Manatee County. Why police are questioning students.
Plus, a local state of emergency issued for Manatee County as dry conditions worsen. Your Suncoast News starts right now.
Live from the ABC 7 studios, this is Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
Oh, look at that shot, getting better by the hour. Beautiful shot of the sunrise and progress just peeking out so far on the horizon.
Looks like a cotton candy sunrise, does it not?
Certainly does.
Is it just me?
No, it's true. That's the Rosemary District. Good morning, 6:32 on your Wednesday morning. Glad you're with us. I'm Ray Collins.
And I'm Jacqueline Matter. Certainly glad to have you here with us this morning. Let's check in with John Scalzi over in the Weather Center.
How you guys doing?
Good.
Very good. Good.
Wednesday. The work week's almost over.
Just about. Just about. We're heading there. We're heading towards some warmer weather, too. Taking a look outside right now from our Casey Key webcam, you can see a cloud cover building across the region, all part of a little bit of cloud that has moved across our area over the course of the morning hours. That cloud cover will give way to a lot more sunshine, though, as we head into the afternoon. The cloud is pretty thin stuff, and it doesn't contain any rainfall, so after the sun comes out, we'll be looking at a high temperature in the 80s, a little warmer than yesterday. We'll have the complete forecast for you coming up in just a few. Back to you.
All right, talk to you soon. Thank you, John. Roads right now pretty clear. Look at the Green Bridge, though, the left of the two in Manatee County from Palmetto. Slow down already, even at 6:33 a.m. Also, 301 southbound, busy heading towards State Road 70. Farther south now into Sarasota County. Little slowdowns on Fruitville toward the interstate at Cattleman. Also, Clark kind of busy right now around Beneva. Farther south into Sarasota County, we'll see a few slowdowns on 41. Nothing too major at 6:33 on this Wednesday morning. Topping our news at 6:30, Manatee County commissioners are now talking about claims by some Bayshore High School graduates that the campus itself caused serious diseases.
Several family members and alumni are blaming their cancer and autoimmune diseases on contaminated groundwater and soil on that campus. ABC 7's Dwayne Lindo has that story.
It's an ongoing issue often compared to the American beryllium chemical plant on Talavast Road, affecting many in Manatee County.
They've been kicking it down the road, and it's not going to go away.
Manatee resident John Rehill has become a cynic throughout the years, trying to shed light on Bayshore High School, and the horror stories he says are staggering.
There's 500 families that have been affected, over 250 that died and got living with cancer. There's 50 people or more with autoimmune diseases, more than that in birth defects.
My husband, William Christian Jr., I firmly believe that he was exposed and possibly that had something to do with him getting his cancer.
Family members spoke out during public comment to represent loved ones diagnosed with some form of cancer, one even suggesting closing down the school completely. One Bayshore graduate who knows a handful of classmates with cancer says there is one common denominator.
There was some signs of a contamination and some exposure
And so we recognized that the identifier was the Bayshore High School.
Health officials also attended, presenting test results from 2007, as well as closure reports on underground storage tanks on the school's property. They say they can't find any link whatsoever to cancer, although they do admit there are a lot of variables and unknowns. Commissioners eventually made a motion to schedule a meeting with the school board and the county health department in 30 days, a motion that Lori Anderson is satisfied with.
I do think that it needs to be a joint effort. I think each division holds each other accountable.
And as for Rehill, he says the time for the county to act is now.
So it's not school board property, it's county property. It's all the people of this county, what they have been sworn to protect, and they have not done any of that.
The commission made it a point to say this is not over yet, assuring those affected that they will have some answers. Reporting in Bradenton, Dwayne Lindo, your Suncoast News.
The commission says their investigation will continue moving forward as Bayshore alumni want answers. We'll bring you the very latest right here on ABC 7 as this story develops.
Developing overnight, an investigation is underway at a Palmetto Middle School after reports of a staff member inappropriately touching a student. The Palmetto Police Chief says they were notified about an alleged incident at the Lincoln Memorial Middle School yesterday. He says detectives are talking to students to get more information, and we'll keep you posted here at ABC 7. A Sarasota city employee is under investigation as well after more than $30 million in accounting errors were discovered during an audit. In fact, the issue was brought to light by a resident. The city auditor and clerk, Pamela Natalini, says the errors came from sloppy bookkeeping made by the city's pension plan administrator, Harry Ramphal. He is now on paid administrative leave.
Obviously, there was concern that accounting mistakes had been made, but that's the purpose of an audit, is to find accounting mistakes. So I was just very heartened that there wasn't any money missing.
Now, that was not Pam Natalini. That was the city commissioner, Liz Alpert. This is the fourth city employee to be put on paid leave in the past week. 3 other high-ranking employees, including parking director Mark Lyons, are suspended after Lyons' son-in-law was awarded a $100,000 art project, and Lyons did not disclose that they are related.
A Sarasota man facing federal charges for his alleged role in an advanced fee investment scheme. Federal investigators say Gordon Moskowitz of Sarasota and 2 other men got more than $5 million from their victims. Moskowitz is charged with conspiracy to commit wire fraud and conspiracy to commit money laundering. Investigators say the men ran an investment scheme for 8 years. They're accused of preying on vulnerable parties, most of whom operated international nonprofits, by promising them large-scale financing in exchange for upfront payments.
A dubious distinction for Manatee County, which ranks highest in the state for heroin overdoses. This after a recent batch of heroin on the streets of Sarasota proved to be deadly. 4 deaths and 7 overdoses in the past 7 days. And a recovering addict we spoke with says buying heroin on the Suncoast is as easy as buying a loaf of bread.
I know that I can go right across the street. I can see syringes laying everywhere. But I have to think about it. I have to think it through. I have to think, where did I just come from?
Now in Tallahassee, a bill has been introduced that would charge dealers with murder if they provide drugs that result in a fatal overdose. Florida is also set to receive $27 million in federal money to confront the issue.
New details this morning on a 4-vehicle crash that killed 1 man and injured 2 others. The Florida Highway Patrol says 77-year-old Robert Wisniewski was driving southbound on US 41, approaching East Bay Street in Osprey, when he suddenly made a sharp turn, crossed the road, and began driving against oncoming traffic. Wisniewski hit 1 car before a head-on collision with a pickup truck, the impact causing the truck's trailer to break away and hit a 4th vehicle. Wisniewski was killed in that accident. The driver of the pickup truck was taken to a hospital with serious injuries, while a passenger in the truck has minor injuries. As
wildfires continue to burn in Florida, a Manatee County Commission is now voting to issue a local state of emergency. The ban now includes fireworks, sparklers, campfires, bonfires, yard trash. Outdoor grilling must be attended. The Florida Forest Service says the ban is needed to reduce the risk of wildfire flare-ups.
Anything that generates heat is going to move very rapidly. You know, this is the windiest I remember it being here this late in the year. And so with the humidity being low, the wind, the dry conditions, it's just a recipe for a big fire.
So the burn ban remains in effect for a week, which could be extended if the dry conditions continue. A ban's also in effect in Charlotte County. Sarasota County issued a recreational burn ban late last week.
And among those dry conditions, the Southwest Florida Water Management District now declaring a Phase 1 water shortage in 16 counties across the state due to that recent drought. Sarasota, Manatee, and Charlotte counties are included in that declaration. The order requires local utilities to review and implement procedures to conserve water. Manatee County observes a 2-day yard watering limit, while Sarasota County has a 1-day per week limit. Despite that advisory, the district says there is still enough water supply available to the public.
Sarasota County is recognizing hundreds of volunteers for spending thousands of hours to help the community. The county is marking National Volunteer Week now. They kicked off with a breakfast for local volunteers yesterday. At the ceremony, the volunteers gave the county a ceremonial check worth $3.7 million, which represents the value of the 160,000 hours volunteering in the community last year for the county. A lot of local retirees are helping out the county with some volunteer hours. A great way to spend your time.
It does. That sounds like a great thing to do in retirement, doesn't it?
Sure does.
I would love to do that when I retire.
Someday.
Always give back. Or you could become part of the Ringling Circus because you were doing some abracadabra magic over there with the weather earlier.
He was a magician, you know.
Yeah, way back when.
What? I did not know that.
Way back when. I was a magician on Captain Kangaroo.
Well, this explains a lot.
I didn't know you were on Captain Kangaroo.
Yeah.
Were you really?
Yeah, way back.
Just learning all sorts of things about you.
Many years ago. We have some very pleasant weather shaping up for us today, I think, after we get rid of this little morning cloud cover. Kind of like yesterday. We'll see the sun break through, and then warmer weather on the way. Talk about that in a second.
All right. Well, still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast, Disney makes a major movie announcement.
When to expect their upcoming blockbusters. That story and more after this.
Introducing the all-new Alfa Romeo Giulia, a performance masterpiece. Race-inspired handling and lightning-fast response times take your drive to the next level. Find yours at Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
Credit card debt can ruin your life. If you owe $10,000 and minimum payments are siphoning away your paycheck each month, you can get debt-free in less time than you think.
I've paid $800 a month for the past 3 years and haven't changed the balance on my credit card.
Get debt-free now has a program to reduce your debt, stop the harassing phone calls, avoid financial ruin, and settle for less than you owe.
I feel like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders.
You're pre-approved for our special hardship program if you owe $10,000 or more. Upon payment of your new lower balance, your debt will finally shrink until you are debt-free.
My family no longer has 30 years of payments ahead of us at 20% interest.
There's no fees until you see results. So call now, make one monthly program payment, and free up your cash. Resolve your debt.
Call 800-685-6422, 800-685-6422.
When you want to get away from it all, to a place where you can do everything, or nothing at all, surrounded by natural beauty and all the modern amenities you might desire, then you'll want to be here at the Wannabe Inn on the beautiful shores of Manasota Key, Florida. To plan your escape, log on to wannabeinn.com.
The kitchen is where life happens. Manasota Flooring now offers a wide variety of beautiful quality craft-made cabinetry to make sure the heart of your home reflects your style. Visit us today.
There are many choices when it comes to AC companies. Our advice? Choose a company that performs employee background checks and is licensed with top manufacturers like Daikin. Daikin offers a 12-year parts and labor limited warranty. For better comfort and value, call Elite Heating and Air.
Julia from Alfa Romeo. Appearance. Performance. Power. Find yours at Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
Now, the official Suncoast weather with ABC7 meteorologist John Scalzi.
Across the region, we have temperatures that are coming in a little bit on the warm side, 68 degrees. And that's because of the cloud cover that's around. It's mostly near the coastline. Inland areas are cooler. Becky and Omayaga just phoned in with the mid-50s for a temperature. We have a dew point value of 52, so conceivably, theoretically, were it not for that cloud cover reflecting the heat back to Earth, we could see a nighttime temperature that was